Hello everyone. Hi, welcome to our live. My name is Elizabeth and I'm from the ICB, and hello Gavin.
Hi there, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm fine. I like the fact that I look like I'm 7'2" and you're shorter than me.
Yeah, exactly. There you are. Nice and
Um,
tall.
all in the last couple of weeks, what we've been doing in the build up to the Bookkeepers Summit is talking to our friends and partners about their involvement at the summit. And I am very proud of the fact that it's just a massive excuse for me to catch up with my mates before the summit, before I see everybody at the summit. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody. As a reminder, the Bookkeepers Summit is Monday, the 17th of November in London, at QE2 Centre, new venue. Well, we're returning there. We went there 5 or 6 years ago. And we also have a virtual summit as well, which is taking place on the Wednesday and Thursday that week. Sandwiched between that is the ICB LUCA Awards on the Monday, the 17th of November. A lot of stuff happening for bookkeepers that week. And we're really pleased that April are coming along and joining us. Gavin, you've been there before.
I have, yes. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's, I guess it's one of, I think it's one of them events in the calendar where you really, really look forward to attending. We really look forward to coming to the ICB Summit. I think it's a fantastic event.
So, I mean, obviously you're pushing open door with that with me, but so if you haven't been to the summit before, can you explain why it is different? What is different about it?
Yeah, I think some events that we go to are very kind of, if you like, matter of fact. It's like people come out and they talk in terms of kind of wanting to know a little bit about the product in terms of Apron, which is obviously great from a vendor perspective. But I just love the community. I love the ICB community, the group itself. Everybody knows everybody. You get introductions from people who are there. People always come up and have conversations, not necessarily just about the product. It's also about kind of how other things are going. I think the networking opportunities are absolutely fantastic. The 60-second pitch at the start of the summit is something to see and behold, because you think I talk about Apron every day for 7-8 hours a day. But when someone puts you on the spot to say you need to give an explanation of who Apron is and the problems that you solve, and you've got 60 seconds to do it, it's like a real high pressure environment. So that's absolutely awesome. And the other good thing is, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say about the fever pitch is at the start of the day. And what that means is that when after our keynote speaker, who's Emma Jones this year, all the partners come up on stage and they have 60 seconds to pitch exactly what they're doing. And first of all, it's hard to do, as Gavin said, get everything out in 60 seconds. But also it gives you an idea of who you want to go and speak to in the rest of the day. Yeah. So that's really important too. But yeah, it's not easy.
It's definitely not easy. And to be fair, being from the Northeast and being a Geordie, we can normally speak very, very quickly. How much of the audience actually pick up what we talk about is another thing. So we're normally told to slow ourselves down and kind of be a bit more matter of fact in terms of the communication. But when that fever pitch, you've got to go quick, because 60 seconds sounds like a lot of time, but it's like kind of over in a flash.
Yeah. It's happening. So did you say that Gareth's going to be doing the fever pitches?
Yeah, we got the obviously the agenda and what we had to do when we kind of were at the ICB Summit, and there was like 4 areas that we had to cover off. And I pulled rank and said to Gareth, "You can do the fever pitch this year," because give him the sweaty palms and kind of get him in the situation where he's feeling a little bit out of his comfort zone and kind of put him under a bit of pressure. So Gaz will be doing it this year. Yeah, absolutely.
But you are gracing the stage later on. You've got the 11:30 slot.
I have, yes.
And what are you going to be talking about then?
We're going to be talking about bookkeeping and payments finally brought together. I think the industry has been around for many, many, many years, and I think it's always been held separately. It's always been like bookkeeping here and payments there, where obviously Apron, what our focus has been is kind of how do we bring all of that together from an automation of bookkeeping, and how that then ties in seamlessly with the payments, and how important bookkeeping is to make the payments, because ultimately it all starts with that data and that information coming into the system, whether that be through the Apron card, whether that be through Apron Capture. and then obviously the reconciliation right through to kind of then making them payments for kind of supplier payments, domestic and international payroll payments. And obviously we've also released not long ago the get paid element of our software as well. So from that point of view, we're going to be talking about how we bring them all together.
Yeah, I spoke to Henry at Apron the other day about the get paid. It's really straightforward, simple product that does what it says, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no cost to it either, is there? I think
there isn't any cost to it at all. You can create your unique payment link in minutes. I did it yesterday with an accountant that I was speaking to yesterday, and then it gives that accountant and bookkeeper the ability to then share that link to customers via the likes of their invoice, email, SMS, WhatsApp. And then you can obviously receive that money straight into the account within one business day. So, like you said, the other real big benefit of that is it's free of charge to be able to use. So from our perspective and from bookkeepers' perspective and the industry's perspective, it's been received very, very well. And ultimately, we're going to be pushing it harder again in kind of the ICB Summit and kind of moving forward over the next few weeks. But we'll get some real good traction with it, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think if bookkeepers can offer payments as well, it's just another added bonus, isn't it, for their clients? Makes you that bit stickier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the reasons why bookkeepers and the industry itself kind of don't offer payments as a service is they don't. It's usually two reasons when we speak, like what is the reason why you're not doing it? And what we normally find, Elizabeth, is they'll come back and there's usually one of two reasons. It's either the admin to be able to do it is long and laborious and it takes a hell of a lot of time. So you might be able to do it for a handful of clients, but you couldn't do it for all of the clients. Obviously, with Apron, there is zero reason for anybody to touch a client's bank account and touch clients' money. So through the open banking technology, so it kind of streamlines that admin and gives the efficiency gains there. But also the second reason, the big reason, is they don't want that liability of touching the client's bank account, touch clients' money. It's like something where and I've heard some horror stories, if I'm being honest, where people are like, yeah, I've got authorization over the bank and I can tap a card on their behalf and I've got to sign it out of a safe and then I've got to sign it back in and all the rest of it. And I'm like, right, okay. So we show them a way where they can streamline all of that process. But yeah, bookkeepers, that is a service that they're really interested in kind of understanding more. Because I think ultimately a lot of clients, a lot of business owners actually want somebody to be able to do that service with them because it takes them away from kind of the admin and the running of the business and allows them to focus in the business. So again, that's something that we'll be discussing quite heavily when it comes to the ICB Summit later this month. And from that point of view, it's super simple, straightforward and efficient to be able to set up.
Okay, so if you are there on the Monday, you can come and see the guys and they'll show you the product. But also, if you can't be there, you can join us virtually. We run a virtual summit, a 2-day virtual summit on the 19th and 20th of November. So you can come along. There's 2 days, and on the first day we have lots of demos. So Gavin, I think you've got a demo then, and then also on the Thursday we run a full summit. There's some content is the same, some content is different. You can find out on the website. But if you can't be there, don't worry, you won't miss out. But you've been everywhere, haven't you, in the last couple of weeks? I've seen you everywhere on your. I met the team in Bristol.
Yeah. We've been running our Apron Road shows this year. So we started off in Edinburgh, went to Leeds, Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, finished off in London. And that was on top of everything else that we've been doing. So I think when we were talking a little bit off air, it was kind of, I think we've probably been to somewhere close to around about 15 events this year. Obviously, we've got a couple left. We've got the ICB Summit and we've also got the Tax Calc Engager Fusion event in London as well. So they're the last two. So it's a really good way to finish off the year. December is a little bit of a quieter month. And then January, we go into crazy season for bookkeepers and accountants in the industry themselves. And then come February, March, it's pack the suitcase. Yeah. Put the Apron t-shirt on and off we go.
So what's been the mood of the people you've been speaking to bookkeepers and accountants? Is everything about MTG, or are they worried about their clients, strength of their businesses? What's the temperature out there?
Yeah, I think great question. I think obviously MTD is on everybody's lips in terms of kind of it's coming soon, and obviously that's going to be catered for. But what we're finding a lot with our product in terms of kind of speaking to accountants and bookkeepers and their clients is it's about also streamlining that tech stack. I think the one thing that Apron have done like really successfully is if you think about how we are able to support and also the problems that we solve, we are kind of, I would say, somewhere in the region of 5 or 6 bits of technology in one. And that is like feedback that we get that's really positive. Yeah, so you haven't got to have a separate capture product, and you haven't got to have a separate expense card, and you haven't got to get paid element and a different bit of technology that you're using for suppliers. You could literally have QuickBooks and Xero with Apron alongside it, and it caters for a hell of a lot of what business owners would be needing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And it also has a huge benefit on kind of internal people in terms of the bookkeeping businesses themselves. Not all of their staff then have to learn this kind of plethora of software, and more importantly, clients don't have to learn all of this technology. It kind of streamlines that processes down, but it kind of makes it very easy. You learn Apron alongside QuickBooks and Xero, then you've kind of pretty much got everything covered off that you would be using on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're finding that really well.
Yeah, and I think especially when you think about something like the Apron app that businesses are using, and just you hear bookkeepers tell us stories all the time about explaining to their clients like you just need to take a picture on your phone. You don't it's really easy. So that sort of the adoption of that, I think, is moving forward, and hopefully it'll just be normal. Having said that, we know with MTD that tens of thousands of businesses are going to be coming into the first and second cohorts that are going to have to start all over again. So it's they haven't got any agents, so they're going to have to get used to all this. So it's really important work.
No, absolutely. And I think one of the things that we're finding also with the Apron app, especially from a capture perspective, is we've got that WhatsApp integration. So getting documents into the system, we are seeing a huge spike, especially for those clients that might be allergic to technology. Let's face it, I think there's not many people I don't know, if any people that I don't know, that don't use WhatsApp. We're finding the construction industry is really big on WhatsApp and say, I don't want another app, but I'll send it via WhatsApp and add a description, and we can obviously get documents into the system. So we're trying to think about also, yes, those savvy clients who are kind of technology, if you like, driven, but also the other clients who aren't so technology driven. How else can they get their docs into the system? And the WhatsApp integration is kind of landing really well.
Yeah, I just don't think you can't have the excuse, can you, anymore, of going, I don't understand it, or it's just technology. You can't disengage from the world in that way. So, but I know that bookkeepers and accountants spend so much of their time educating their clients. So having easy to use software is really important.
Absolutely.
Thinking about the tech stack, I always think that's one of the most interesting things that every practice I speak to, they've just got a whole different setup completely. It's almost completely unique. And that's really interesting. On the virtual summit on the Thursday morning, we've got Lara Manton, who worked with Apron, wasn't she? And also Natasha Everard. They're talking about things to consider when you're building your tech stack. And these are things that you can think about right at the start of your practice, building your practice, but also at any time it's good to review, isn't it? And not just say I use that because I use it. It's always
Absolutely. I think the review is something that many bookkeepers and accountants don't do, and I think it's ultimately something that they should. I think it's a good hygiene factor, if I'm being honest. It's kind of, you should look at that, because let's face it, there's price increases in everything that we do now. Whether it's kind of in your personal life or whether it's in your business life, there's there's kind of subscriptions are increasing and things are happening and everything else is kind of, and I think it's always good. I wouldn't say that you do it on a regular basis in terms of like three times a year would be too much, but I think every year it's like maybe no different to kind of what we do in our personal lives, right? When you get that insurance renewal through, and you get your car renewal through, and your mobile phone contracts up for renewal, it's kind of, you'd be foolish just to accept that first kind of, well, yeah, we'll just accept it because we've always been with this provider. And I think ultimately it's a real good time to ultimately just review that tech stack, because it's all about kind of not just the cost. I don't think the cost is something that you should always kind of just pin your hat on, but I think there's also that element of, there's the education, and then there's the learning, and there's the relationship, and then there's the cost. So if you've got 7 or 8 or 9 different pieces of technology in your tech stack, that's fine, but you've got to understand that all of them need paid for, all of them need to be learned, and all of them need to have a relationship. So you have kind of people like Apron then contacting you on a monthly basis to say, look, we want to do a review, or we want to just kind of catch up with you, and all the rest of it. And if that happens 9 times, again, it's a lot of time that's kind of taken out of bookkeepers and accountants business. So I think it's good to review.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. And I think when you're running any small business, you've got so much to do in terms of doing the work to review constantly, and it's tough. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do for bookkeepers and accountants. Okay, I did want to just also move on to cover the ICB LUCA awards as well, because you're finalists again in 3 categories.
We are.
Very impressive. You're in the data capture app of the year, the payment provider of the year, and the friendliest software of the year.
Correct. Yes.
And last year you came home with a double. Is that right?
We come home with a double. So we were lucky enough to win data capture, software of the year, and payment provider of the year. I think we got pipped by Free Agent on the
Free Agent,
software.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
That was,
good luck getting that one off the agent, I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking for potentially trying to get the hat trick, but you know what? We were like absolutely delighted with 2. It's the LUCA awards in terms of the industry itself are held up in like real high esteem, and it's a really nice. The trophy is beautiful, and ultimately coming away with 2 out of the 3. If we could do that again this year, then I guess everybody in the business would be absolutely delighted. I'll just not make the same mistake I did last year.
What were the personal consequences for you in winning a LUCA award at the bar?
Yes, the mistake I made last year, I was foolish enough to say, look, if we win one of these awards, I'll buy everybody a drink. So I literally spent a good couple of hours on the night time with people coming up going there, double gin and tonic, and I'll have a vodka and Diet Coke, and I'm like, oh no. So I made an absolute mess in terms of that silly comment that I made. And I made it as I was actually leaving the stage. I had been on with Laura Manton in terms of doing a talk with Laura. And I walked off, and they were saying, are you looking forward to the night and the awards? And I said, yes, I'm looking forward to the awards. And if we win one, I'll buy everybody a drink. Well, there was about 300 people in the audience. And I'm like, lesson learned. So I remember phoning Bogdan saying, hey, Bogdan, my expense bill might be a little bit higher this month. But he was fine with it. He was laughing about it. But ultimately, I might keep my mouth shut this year.
It's good. Now, what I do like to do is the final award that we give out is always the Bookkeepers Champion. So can I tell you the finalists of the Bookkeepers Champion? And I want you to make a prediction.
Okay.
Who you think is going to win? So the finalists, and I have to say, for the last 2 years, it's been Kirsty St. John, who is a huge figure in the bookkeeping community, and a massive part of ICB as well. So this time we've got Ask the Accountant, which is the podcast with Johan Arendt. We've got Chris Downing, obviously. He's out and about all the time from Sage. Craig Ogilvie is the first person we've ever had from HMRC in the category or in the awards, so he's important. Stephanie Marshall, who's one of our bookkeeper members. She's on a tech council. She's got her own podcast. She runs a very successful business. And Zoe Whitman, who's obviously part of the 6-figure bookkeepers and set up Hey Monica this year as well.
Yeah.
big names, Gavin.
Big names. Wow, that's putting me on the spot. Jeez. Well, Stephanie Marshall's on our table. She's on the Apron table with us, so we have invited her. Zoe, obviously, we do a lot of work with Zoe and Joe Wood. I think they both come across.
I can see you sweating a little bit now.
Yeah, I'm sweating. Ask the accountant. Wow. I'm gonna go with Stephanie Marshall, and the main reason, and this is a cop out, is because she's going to be on our table, and if I don't say her name, then with all due respect, she's going to spend the whole evening of the LUCA Awards giving me a hard time. So I want to go with Stephanie Marshall. So hopefully she'll bring it back onto our table, and kind of we'll have something to celebrate on the night.
Well, Stephanie Marshall's finalist in 5 categories. Yeah, plus also her branch is in as well. She's in the Aberdeenshire branch, isn't it, right? Anyway, or the Glasgow branch. Anyway, she's the Scottish branch for some reason. That's what happens at ICB. So Stephanie, you know, she's got a better chance than most of walking away with an award. So we'll see.
Well, go with Stephanie purely because she's very good at what she does, and ultimately she's on our table at the night time. But everybody else, if any one of them fall with it, then they'll be very, very well deserved, I'm sure.
It's quite a unique award, isn't it? Considering that potentially all the people in the room could be competitors, but nobody seems to be acting like that. Everyone's acting as, you know, there's just that's like you said, that sense of community is there. And
yeah, absolutely. And I think ultimately you find that, right? Because it's the community in that network is just like, it's phenomenal in terms of we've had people from the ICB members kind of dragging other people across and going, look, you need to go and speak to Gavin and the team because this is what you're looking for. And we're like, wow, like, thank you very much. It's like, for us, it's like the best advertisement in the world when somebody who you trust and respect and part of your own community advocates kind of the reason to why. So I think it's really, really important. But yeah, I don't think, obviously all of them want to win it, but I think everybody is very, very graceful in terms of kind of if they're a finalist. I think it's also a big old kind of accolade in its own right, just to say that you're doing something right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very emotional evening. I don't know if it's just me that feels like that, because it's the end of a long day. But yes, I always find it. Well, then I used to go to it before I worked at ICB and loved it very much. So that liked it so much I went to work for the company. But it's a very emotional evening, and it's because of the sense of community with the bookkeepers.
Is that not also just a big release of the kind of the months of build up, and you kind of think once the award happened, it's like the job is done for a evening.
And yes, and also I tend to get ill directly after the Bookkeepers Summit as well. As me.
What, every year?
Yeah, well, yeah, so far, yeah. Every stop now I can be ill. But I think actually what it is, and I'm not saying all the bookkeepers have germs, I'm saying is that I just hug everybody, and so there's probably just a lot going on in central London.
Hand sanitizers, and I'll bring a box of big gyms for you.
As if I would get around that place without hugging everybody. Right, good, okay. And then after the LUCAs, there's the big disco, which is the greatest party. So it's great to have everybody there, usually led by Chris Downing. Joe Wood always puts in a great performance. There's lots of friends getting together and having a good time together. It's kind of like you say, it's the end of year party.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the time where I kind of just take a little bit of a step back and just watch and observe. I think you see everything from the new young blood coming through who have got proper dance moves to those people who are doing like kind of the mum and dad shuffle. And then you've got Chris Downing who's doing his caterpillar and his moonwalk and he's back spinning, and you think like fair play to him because to be fair, Chris can dance, right? He can absolutely dance.
But yeah, that backflip he did last year was amazing. It's great.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm just jealous because I couldn't do one.
Great. Okay. So the other thing I just wanted to say as well, just talking about community, is that if you are coming to the Bookkeepers Summit for the first time, do not be afraid. First of all, you have got a very, very warm welcome from everybody. But also, if you need to, we run a buddy scheme. So Helen Bauer, who's one of our members, sets up a WhatsApp group and literally meets people at the door. So you can chat to people beforehand, and also meet you at the door and kind of walk you through, because it can be quite intimidating, can't it? Just to walk into a room where everyone does seem to know each other. But yes, if you walk in not knowing anyone, you won't leave like that.
No, definitely. I think it's a really nice environment, to be fair, once you're kind of in there and having the conversations. How many actually coming are you expecting in the summer?
I think it's over 400 now. The in-person summit's busier than ever, so it's great.
Brilliant.
Busy time. Okay, thank you, Gavin. It was really great to speak to you. We're looking forward to seeing you a week on Monday. Jasmine has put some links underneath us, so if you do want to come along, it would be great to see you. If you can't make it to London, come and join us for the virtual summit. And if you've got any questions about Apron, speak to Gavin. He's on LinkedIn and everything. If you've got any questions about the summit, speak to us. And we look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Gavin. Have a good day, everybody.
And you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.